Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night. It doesn't feel like a Thursday at all. I don't even know why. I have no idea. But does anyone else feel like that? I don't know if it's because it's bank holiday this weekend, which makes no difference to me at all because I'm working all day tomorrow. We're delivering a course on Saturday. It's just like, it doesn't feel like a Thursday. I have to keep reminding myself what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, we have just done an immense step accumulator. My gosh, it was tough, sweaty, fast, furious, crazy, all in one. Belinda said it feels like a Friday. I don't even know what day it feels like. It's weird. It's a weird one. Hey ho. Hello, Michelle. So gang, we're going to do fitness Pilates for better balance. I'm going to give you lots and lots of key information to help you with your balance. If you've got a tennis ball or a spiky ball, I want you to grab it because these make a huge difference. So we are going to use them. So if you've got one, grab it now. Whether it be a tennis ball or a spiky ball, whatever you've got, these are going to be really beneficial. Leonie's in tonight. Hey, Leonie. Celia's in as well. Good to see you. Good. So, gang, there could be a million reasons as to why someone struggles with their balance. But one of the biggest things are problems with the actual foot and its mobility. So what we want to try and do is increase our foot mobility as much as we possibly can. Especially if you suffer with bunions, especially if you suffer with either fallen arches or very high arches, these can make a difference. Sometimes though it's to do with the knee and sometimes it's to do with proprioception. So generally if someone's very hypermobile, they have really poor balance. The balance, they find that they're wobbling all over the place. One thing I want you to really think about is having kind of almost three points under your feet. And what I want you to do is instead of thinking of your big toe, your little toe, and then the back of the heel, I actually want you to think of just underneath that kind of knuckle of the big toe, then to the other side on the outside of the foot, and then right in the middle of your heel. And I want you to think of those as being your grounding spots and really connect that area of your feet with the floor. So you're going to press right down into it. Hey, Nick. So think about these grounding spots under the big knuckle of the toe, to the other side, almost towards the little toe, not actually on the toes, more into the foot. And then in the center of your heel. And I want you to ground yourself there. And anytime you start to work through, I want you to be really aware of those spots. The other thing to be aware of as well is the narrower you stand, the more likely you are to wobble. So if you know that balance is an issue for you when you're standing, I want you to take your feet further apart than hip distance. I want you to go wider so you've got a bigger stance. So we're going to start going by increasing our mobility of our foot and our ankle. I want you to grab your spiky ball. I want you to press your foot into it. And you're going to work in a linear fashion from the top to the bottom of your foot, pressing through as much as you can. I want you to go under your arch, work into that arch. I want you to go round the side of your foot, down the back of your heel, and under your toes. Now, I recommend that if you struggle with your feet, if you struggle with balance on a general basis, that you actually do the spiky ball release work on your feet before you do any class. Literally just a couple of minutes before we start or while I'm chatting, have your spiky ball handy Even if the class we're doing, you're going to put trainers on. So bring your spiky pull with you and give those feet a good release. Now, gang, I want you to try and put as much weight as you possibly can into that foot. And I want you to stand so that your heel can come down on the floor and your toes will creep over the spiky ball, over the tennis ball. And really apply as much weight as you can there on that side. I want you to go back to that release again. So many people hold so much tension in their feet. And it's really important to let that tension go. Because it's got nowhere to go apart from up the body. It won't go out, it will come up. So the tension will come up to your calf, your knee, your hip, your back, your shoulder. Well done. When that feels good, I want you to change the feet over to other side. Coming onto our other side and going into our rub here. So bringing that forward and back and really, again, applying as much weight as we possibly can. So letting this really release for you. Going under the arch and around it. Going around the outside of your foot. I think Bentley's going to attack mine in a minute. Back of the heel, under the toes. And then put as much weight as you can into that. Let your heel hang low, let your toes creep over and push. Really press into there. Even if you did the spiky ball when you're sitting down, like with it under your feet when you're in your chair, maybe if you're working from home. Oh, I've got a little bit more pressure on mine here. Bentley's just sat on my foot as well. Okay, Bentley, we'll move. Go back to the rub. Or while you're sitting in the evening watching TV or when you're eating the dinner, pressing into the ball will make a huge difference to get those feet to respond. Well done. And then when that feels good for you, you're just going to move your spiky ball out of the way. We don't need it anymore. Think about how your feet feel and then go back to those points, those grounding points that I spoke about earlier, nice and strong and tall. I want you to release your shoulders. Bring your pelvis into neutral and have your head lovely and long. I want you to rotate your shoulders both backwards and forwards, so whichever works for you. Maybe do a combination of both. And then anytime you're ready, the head's going to come down. And then lift. So I want to let that neck release as well as the shoulders. Feel free to open the mouth as you take your head back. Good work. Abdominal strong. Take the head over to the right. Feel the stretch. Roll the head down and round. Over to the other side. Let that neck release. Good work. How does that feel? Perfect. From here, swoop and stretch. Bend the knees and let these arms fold forward, head down, and then roll back. Look up to the ceiling, look down to the floor. We're going to take the right arm over and then the left. Push your hip bones to the other wall. Feel that release coming through the side of your waist. Are you still grounded? Are you still thinking about those points of your foot? I hope you are. Okay, pedal push through your feet. I want you to just listen to my voice and actually not look at me. I want you to pick something in front of you that's not moving, a focal point, we call it. So potentially it could be a picture, if it's kind of behind the screen, wherever it might be something on the table, but have it at eye line. So you're not looking down, You're looking straight. Pick that focal point, and I want you to look at it. Come back to your grounding spots and pull up really lovely and tall. And I want you to then bring your right foot forward, but stay in contact with the floor, and then point and flex. So you're only lifting up a little bit with your foot into your point and flex. Think about your shoulders staying level, using that focal point. Now, rotate the ankle when you're ready. You're going to go round in both directions, and then come back to your pedal push through your feet. Let that release. Good work. From here, come up with the other side. Point and flex. So you're pointing and flexing your foot, keeping your eyes at that focal point, just listening to me rather than looking at me. Yeah? Rotate the ankle whenever you're ready. Loosen it off. Hopefully it's going to feel quite nice and loose anyway because of the spiky ball. Go round the other way. Perfect. Go back to your pedal push. So from here, I want us to then start to come into a little bit of a balance. So we're going to come up strong again, eyes on the focal point, grounding spots with your feet. We're going to lift your right knee slowly up. Lower down when you wish, and then lift your left knee slowly up. Place your hands on your hips. When someone's got issues with their balance and they try to move their hands or their arms and their legs at the same time too quickly, it can knock you off balance. So I want you to keep hands on the hips and focus just on the knee lift. If that feels good for you to lift that knee up, then we're going to start to bring the knee up and then out to the side. That's more challenging for the balance. Bring it back and then lower. So you're going to lift the knee up. You're going to take it out to the side. Bring it back and then lower. Now, if your balance is really bad, feel free to use something to hold on to. Just lightly with the fingers, lift up and open out to the side. So maybe you've got a chair handy. Maybe you've got a door like me that you can use, and you can literally just press your fingertips on it. Maybe just even one fingertip there. Just almost like a bit of a security blanket. Good work. So lifting that knee up, opening it out. Fantastic. Now take the legs really wide, and I want you to open up the hips here. Now you know I've spoke about this before. Inner thighs. Let's talk, girls. If they are tight, they do no good for anything, to be fair. Pelvic floor will be too tight if your inner thighs are too tight. Now, a tight pelvic floor is not a strong pelvic floor at all. And also, it will affect your balance because it puts your pelvis out of alignment. So I really need you to stretch these inner thighs. Stay over to one side and take that release. Change over to the other side. Now, maybe this stretch is not enough for you. Maybe you've been doing it with me for so long now that it doesn't cut it. So maybe we need to come into more of a primal hip opener where we're taking our bottom down low and we're pushing our elbows out on the insides of our thighs here. See how that feels. So do what feels good for you. So either coming into this primal squat position or staying with your lateral lunge, but don't rush it. Let's take this time to really stretch, especially if you're tight. If you know you're tight in your inner thighs, you know you're tight in your feet, and your balance is crap, well, there you go. You know what you got to work on. Well done. Good work. Okay, we're going to bring that back. And I want you to pedal through your feet again. So standing up lovely and tall, find those focal points again up in front of you and your grounding points of your feet. We're going to bring your right leg forward and back, but I'm staying in contact with the floor. So I'm just tapping here, tap back. Stay in contact with the floor because you don't have to lift. We can have that contact while we're working on our balance. Only if it feels good, you could start to lift, but you don't have to. We can stay in contact and still get that mobility there. I'm going to then come around the front and trace a semicircle around the back. Now, if I start looking down, or if I look to the side, or look in the lounge, or out in the garden, that's going to put my balance off. So we need to keep our eyes front, girls. Release the feet again, pedal push. Well done. Now from here, come into the other side. Forward and back. So focal points are something that generally dancers use when they do lots of spins so they don't get dizzy. But it can massively help with regards to balance. Looking at that point up in front of you at eye line. Often people will say about something in front of you like a 45-degree angle, but as soon as you drop your head, that's the way you're going. So I want you to look straight. Well done. Come across round the front and round the back. Trace the floor. You don't have to lift. Now remember, hands on the hips. I know I have a habit of swinging my arms around. Don't copy me. Just bring that round the front and round the back. Yeah? Good work. And then from here, come to the back of your mat. Roll through. Release your spine, bend the knees, heavy head comes forward. Let's come into that half position. Ladies, I want you to release your back here. Lift and lower. So really take a good couple of cat stretches here and then roll up when you're ready. Roll the shoulders, release, lift and lower. Give that back a really good release here. Well done. When you're ready, ladies, you're going to come down to the floor. Take your calf stretch. Have your feet wide, remember. Wider than your hips and bend one knee. Feel the stretch in the other leg. Change over when you're ready. Okay. When it feels good for you, hold both legs straight. Release them. And then bend the knees down. I want you to take a cat stretch and stay there as long as you need to. Cat to cow. So one of our biggest moves in fitness Pilates that challenges our balance is our Superman. And it's generally because your hands and your knees are either in the wrong position or you're trying to lift too high. So what I'm going to really get you to do is focus on your alignment to start with. I need those hands underneath your shoulders, not too far forward, not too far back. So under those shoulders. Turn the hands in slightly. That's going to give you better balance. It's also going to take the lock off the elbows. Now look at your knees. Are they hip distance or wider? I don't want them narrower. Women have a habit of bringing their knees in really close, and it's probably because of the position that they don't want to have sort of the knee separate here. I need you to have your knees under your hip bones. Now, just slide your fingertips along the floor and your foot along the floor. Come back and then change. So can you just stay in contact with the floor and then coming back to that set position. So we're keeping this a closed chain exercise. And our back stays lovely and long. It's not going to change. I need you to engage the abdominals. So squeeze the muscles there in the tummy. And if you can keep that there, and that feels good for you, stay there. Otherwise, we're going to take the hand and the foot along the floor and then just take a little lift. No change. Come back to the floor. Slide back in. So we slide the fingertips along the floor, the foot along the floor. We lift up. We come back to that extended point on the floor and then we slide back in. Feel the difference? So you're taking it along the floor, then you come into your lift when you're really nice and strong. As I come into my lift, I'm still turning my palm in, leading with my thumb, flexing my foot, as I do all the time. Pressing away. So if you know you struggle with your balance in Superman, this now is going to be your version that you're going to always do. So even if I'm taking that arm and leg straight away, I want you to do this one. I want you to take it along the floor and then lift. So you're staying in contact. You're creating that balance. Now, what's going on with your knees as you bring them back? Where have they gone, girls? Are they staying under your hip bones or are they wider? Or have they migrated themselves in? You tell me. Well done. I'm going to take one more. Good work. Let's stretch back. Let's get into those hips again. I want you to open up and through. Release here. So one thing that I've done here with this mat is put a long white line down it. So that when I'm doing anything where I want my hands either side, my knees either side, I know whether or not I'm coming in too close. So you're almost using that as like a little marker. Good work. Come round. Okay. We're going to take our hips again into a release here. Because again, if these are too tight, if our inner thighs are too tight, our hips are too tight, it's going to affect our balance. So I want you to really let them go. Let that release for you. Well done. Loosen up there. Place the soles of the feet together and let's come into that inner thigh stretch. Come down and push away. Feel the stretch there into the hips. So another move that's absolutely amazing to work on your balance is our side lying work. But I want you to be cushioned enough that you're not uncomfortable as you lay here. So feel free to pad up your mat. Now, if I'm going to use my long white line, I'm going to put my body completely in line here. Take my head down and rest it in my arm. I can put a cushion here if I want to, or a pillow or a block. But I'm coming down to the floor. What I want you to do from here is then think about lifting your waist away from the floor and lay on the fleshy part of your body, not the bony part. If you're laying on the bony part, it's going to hurt and it's going to make you wobble. So I want you to lay on your fleshy part. And then bring your legs at the 45-degree angle. So now I've taken my legs off the white line and they've come on a 45-degree angle. I'm still lifting away from the floor. Hand forward. We're going to take our top leg. Lift, lower, up and down. So I'm going to keep my lower leg down in the floor. Because if I know my balance is an issue as I'm laying on my side, if I lift my lower leg and I start wibbly wobbling around, or if I lift my hands off and again I start wobbling around, I've taken the essence away from the exercise, which is all about your outer thigh and your bottom and engaging through the abdominals. And instead, what I've done is I've kind of put the focus on how bad my balance is. And then essentially, I'm not getting the best out of the workout. So we keep it down. We don't have to lift it up. Now, when that leg starts to fatigue, which it will, I want you to rest it and give it a little tap. Give it a little rub. Stay in this alignment and bring your top arm now over. Lift the waist away from the floor. You're going to exhale, reach to the line, come back. So you're not reaching to your feet. You're reaching to the imaginary line that you've got down your mat. Lift up. Little modified side bend here. Then lift here. Reach those fingertips towards the back of your bottom. Lift. Well done. Up there. Let's go 4 more. And down. 3. Look where you're going. That's it. 1 more time. Beautiful. You're going to come round. Go back to your stretch. You would have felt that in that top leg. You would have felt your outer thigh working there. But also those side bends are working your obliques, the side of your waist. I don't want these hips or inner thighs to get tight again. So can we release them again before we change sides? So let that open up for you. Perfect. Bring yourself then along your imaginary line. Yeah. A lot of people's balance is faulty, really, because they don't give themselves enough time to get into correct alignment for exercises. They kind of just go straight in, all guns blazing. You need to give yourself a little bit of time and start thinking about what position you're in. So you're coming into this position. Remember, you can have something under your head if you need to. Hand forwards. And then from here, lift your waist away from the mat. Holding in from hip to hip. Bring the legs 45-degree angle. Lift the top leg up and down. Flex the foot. You can lead with your heel if you want. And just feel really nice and strong here. You've got this lower leg down. You've got it slightly forwards, but your body's not slightly forward. Your hips are stacked. You're in this lovely long line with the body here. So you feel really nice and secure. You're not laying on the bony parts of your body. You're laying on the fleshy parts of your body. So again, that's not going to make you wobble. And then we should be able to really feel this outer part of our leg working. Our bottom, our outer thigh. We've got that emphasis there. When it fatigues, and you know it will, like I said, give it a tap, give it a little rub. And then the top arm's going to come over. Inhale, exhale, and we're going to reach. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Remember where you're reaching, along your imaginary line. So you're not reaching to your feet. Then you really will topple over. Crunch on the side of your waist. Rib cage to hip bones. So we're making it all about parts of the body that we're supposed to, rather than having to worry so much about wobbling. Good work. more if we can. One more time. Beautiful. Gang, come onto your back. So I'm just going to move my mic belt out of the way. I want you to bring your knees in, and again, focus on your inner thighs, focus on your hips. So big circles round here, let that loosen off. Well done, bringing the knees over to one side. Extending the arm. Beautiful, changing over other side. Okay, so let's think about shoulder bridge. And if we were to take one foot off the floor. So the first and foremost thing is, you know, when we do our shoulder bridge and we lift our arms overhead, if you're going to lift one leg off the floor and you know your balance isn't great, the easiest thing to do is just keep your hands down. So don't lift your hands up. So ladies, I want you to lift up vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep the hands down on the floor. Now, check for me what's going on with your feet. So can you feel those grounding points again? Can you feel the one kind of at the back underneath, that kind of like ball of our foot? Can you feel it to the side? Can you feel it in the middle of the heel? Can you feel really centered there? If you can't feel those points of your feet, you might need to roll down. You might need to maneuver your feet a little bit further away, maybe a little bit wider, and then roll up again. I certainly don't want you to lift your big toe, because if you come up to shoulder bridge and you're lifting your big toe, and then you start to lift one leg, well, of course you're going to wobble, because there's hardly any grounding left on the foot. So I want you to lift, and then make sure that that foot's really grounded before you lift this leg. And you can lift it up to the ceiling, or you can lift it 45-degree angle, or you can just keep it bent, and then lower down in exactly the same spot. Feel the points. Feel that grounding point, those 3 points under the foot before you lift this leg. Whether it be up, whether it be out, whether it be bent. Lower down. Keep the hands down. Push into the foot, but staying on the floor before you lift this other one. So when you place it down in the ground, you're going to push into it. Then lift. Now, sometimes people experience cramp. I'm probably going to jinx this now, but I have drunk a lot of water today. But generally, they'll experience cramp in the back of the legs when they lift one leg, and that's normally to do with dehydration. Just the muscles not having enough water coming to them. So if that happens to you while we're doing this, gang, I want you to just take a nice drink. Make sure you're not dehydrated. Good work. Hips stay up. You're pushing into the foot. Stays on the floor. Find those grounding points. Good work. Okay, let's keep the feet down. Let's roll the back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Hug the knees in. Release your back. Circle round on your lower back. Massage your lower spine. Let that release there for you. So generally the moves that we do, kind of laying prone on our front or laying on our back here in supine like this or seated, they don't really cause us much drama with our balance because you've got a lot of your body on the floor. So essentially those ones, I mean, they're amazing. They're not going to help you improve your balance. It's the ones that actually challenge the balance that are going to help. So let that back really release. Take the hands above the head, feet down, stretch all the way to We're going to bring the hands behind the head. Let's stretch the neck. Look to the feet and flex them. Lower down. This time as you lift up, turn the head to one side. Lower down, change sides when you're ready. Bring it back to center. And then hug the knees back to the chest. Take a little rock to bring you up to sitting. We're going to place our soles of our feet together. I want you to open up here. So I know tonight's been kind of a little bit more kind of informative rather than hence a workout, but hopefully that will help you in the future for all of your classes. Give your legs a shake. Bring that leg in. Let's cross it over. Hand comes round. Pull the knee in. So whether or not you're taking part in step, Pilates, yoga, dance fit, whatever it might be, hopefully that's given you some pointers to help you with your balance. Generally, with things like yoga and Pilates, we find we really feel our balance more than anything because we work slower. It's more controlled. So you're not moving too quickly. Place that foot across. Hand comes round. Pull the knee in. Well done. Bring yourself round, ladies. We're going to round up through our spine. Release the other way. Take some time. Let the back release. And then extend through the fingers. Sit back. Turn the toes under, lift the hips up, lengthen the back of the legs. I want you to now bring your hands back to your feet. Roll up slow. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the neck and the head up last. As you come up, we're going to roll those shoulders back. Think about how they feel. Go back to your pedal push. Good work. So really let your feet release. Think about how they feel. Come back to your grounding points. Take a moment to get that connection. Take the feet wider if you wish. Take your focal point. Hands on your hips. Let's lift the right leg. Good work. Lower down. Let's lift the left leg. So keep your eyes forwards. Well done. Go again. Lift. How is our balance the second time round? How does it feel? Release. Change sides. Up you go. Well done. We release. Ladies, we take a breath. Inhale. As you exhale, bring yourself back into your perfect Pilates posture. Think about how that feels for you. Take another breath. Inhale. As you exhale, I want you to grow taller. Let your shoulders come away from your ears. Let your neck be lovely and long. One more time. Inhale. And as you exhale, pelvis comes back into neutral. Squeeze the muscles in the bottom. Feel really nice and strong. Take your right arm above your head and your left. Right hand forward and your left. Right palm in and your left. Give yourselves and each other a super round of applause. Ladies, I really hope that was helpful for you. Hope you found that informative, but also that you found that helpful for your exercises. And I'd be interested to know whether or not that made a difference to your balance at all, with releasing the feet and then just being really aware of those things I was getting you to think about. Well done. Michelle said that was so good. I always struggle with my balance when I'm on my side. Thank you. Nick said, thank you, Kelly. It's really good to think about your technique for yourself as well as for teaching. No problem, Nick. I'm glad that was helpful. But definitely the feet releasing will make a huge difference, because a lot of people have just got so much tension in the foot. And then if you get them just to stand on one, it's, you know, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure straight away there. Thanks, Celia. Celia said that was great. Yes, a few things to think about. No problem. Belinda said it was lovely and informative. Balance definitely better at the end. Oh, wow. Awesome. That's good. Good. Excellent. Ladies, you might be interested to know, next week on Tuesday, I'm guest presenting for the lovely Lisa Curden in her group. I'm going to do it as streaming. You know, I can do it in 2 groups at the same time. And she wants me to do just a standard fitness Pilates class, one of our sort of 45-minute kind of original classes. So then it will be kind of, slowed down, and it won't be kind of themed in any way. And I'm not going to use any equipment. And I want you to kind of really kind of bring it back. So you might really enjoy that. Now you know a little bit more about what you're doing with regards to your balance. Leonie said, enjoyed this, made me feel about what I was doing. Very relaxing too. Thank you for all your info. No problem. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. And I will be live tomorrow morning. We're doing Step Club, which is getting your steps in, either using the bottom step of your stairs or using a step, whatever you've got. We're going to get our steps in that way. Then I'm going to do a stretch and recharge at 9:15. And then I've got an Easter egg burner. So we are aiming to burn as many calories in that class as eating an Easter egg. That's my ploy. And then at 1:30, I'll be doing my masterclass all about hip mobility and improving it without having to stretch. So some key pointers. It's a masterclass, and I'll be live in this group as well as my masterclass group. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.